But why such a fuss over a little cold? Why can't I go in and see her?
She's asleep, Arthur.
If so, then what's Jack still doing in there? Jack Stewart, Holmwood here, I want a word with you.
In a moment, Arthur.
How can Lucy still be asleep when you just told me she slept the whole day through?
The doctor gave her a sedative.
What on earth for?
To keep her in bed. A while ago, Lucy insisted she go out walking.
I wouldn't mind that myself. An evening stroll with my intended on my arm, watching the moon rise over the sea.
Very romantic, Arthur, but I'm afraid Lucy is far too ill. She ought to be up and most certainly not out of doors till Dr. Seward discovers what exactly is the matter.
Very well, Mina. I suppose I trust your judgment. In sickness and in health, those are the vows Lucy and I'll soon exchange. Perhaps I'd best get used to it. Still, I do so very much prefer my girl in good health.
Of course you do. I feel the same way about Jonathan.
What's the matter with him?
Nothing that I know of. That's just the trouble. Haven't received a letter in nearly 5 weeks. Just before Lucy fainted, I was on my way to see if a letter might have come with a cargo on that derelict ship.
Yes, that cargo. Bit odd, if you ask me.
Dr. Seward said there was nothing but wooden boxes.
Rather large-sized crates, my good woman, and filled with nothing but moldy soil.
Moldy soil, really?
So I was told. Oh, how we English can be about gardening. I expect there's some orchid-growing fanatic cultivating specialized hybrid God knows what. You know how it is. Certain organisms can only thrive in certain soils, but 50 crates of it? I'd say that's going a bit overboard, wouldn't you? Mina?
Oh, I am sorry, Arthur. My mind wandered.
Thinking of Jonathan, were you?
No, he never leaves my thoughts entirely. But no, it's those crates of earth. There's something familiar in the image that I can't place where or why. Such vivid thoughts and wild dreams I've had of late. My mind seems all muddled most of the time.
They say that's a sure sign of love sickness. Perhaps Dr. Jack has a remedy.
I beg your pardon?
Well, it's about time. How is my Lucy?
I don't like to make hasty diagnoses, Arthur.
And I don't like to wait for them.
Of course you don't. You're the sort of man who decides what he wants and goes right for it,
Oh,
aren't you?
never mind how I am, Jack. I asked about my girl.
Yes. Since you insist on my immediate opinion, I'd have to say the lady is suffering from severe anemia.
What?
Anemia?
Yes. Her pulse is extraordinarily weak. I don't recall her complexion ever so pale.
But doctor, does anemia often occur so swiftly?
What do you mean, Miss Murphy?
Only yesterday, Lucy was as vigorous as when we were girls. I've never known her to be so full of life.
I must agree, Jack. She and I have had a most wonderful summer.
How nice for you. I'll know more after I've had a look at her blood.
What? You drew blood?
I did.
Giving drugs, taking blood without my permission.
Forgive me, Arthur, if I offend, but I'm not accustomed to asking permission for every little thing I do in the natural course of my profession.
But such a delicate creature. And you yourself said she has an insufficiency of blood.
A few more ounces she can afford to lose.
A few more
I
ounces.
assure you, Arthur, your fiancée felt no discomfort. Now, with your permission, I'll go back to my laboratory and examine the blood sample. Then, with your permission, I'll return tomorrow and report my findings to you. It's a stroke of luck that I have one of Europe's foremost blood specialists now visiting my asylum.
Is that a fact? As a patient?
Raw. No. The fellow, Dr. Abraham Van Helsing, was a professor of mine in Amsterdam. He's helping in the treatment of a particularly troubled patient who seems obsessed with blood.
How dreadfully fascinating. You must tell me all about him some other time.
Yes, some other time. Well, I'll say goodnight, Miss Murray.
I'll see you out. Since Lucy's asleep and Arthur's here, I thought I'd at last go down to the harbour.
Oh, yes, you were hoping for a letter, weren't you? Please allow me to drive you.
Very well, thank you.
Miss Mina, here's a telegram just now arrived.
Telegram from Jonathan, it must be.
One thing before you go, Jack. I am glad to know about that Dutchman, that professor of yours. I want my Lucy to have nothing but the best, understand? Anything and everything she requires, and spare no expense.
My services are provided without fee. After all, we are friends, are we not? At least we were.
Sir, my travelling place at once, please.
Yes, miss.
Mina?
Jonathan is ill. He's at a convent hospital in Budapest. If I hurry, I may be able to catch the last train to the Channel.
I'll drive you to the station.
Oh, would you? I'd be much obliged.
I'll start up the motor car.
Motor car? Oh, Seward. You don't mean to say you wasted good money on one of those ridiculous new contraptions.
I have. I'm intrigued by all these new inventions. Contraptions, if you will. Besides, I've little else in my life now to amuse me. Good night, Arthur.
Oh,
patch, Miss Mina.
Just coming.
Do you need any money?
Thank you, Arthur. No, I can manage.
But I'd like to help.
Just stay here and look after Lucy in my stead. Now, I wish the doctor hadn't given her that sedative. I can't say goodbye.
That I can do for you.
Yes, give her my love. Tell her I'm right, and she mustn't worry. I want her to rest and be completely well when I return. Goodbye, Arthur.
No, but I'm escorting you to the door. Besides, I want to have a look at Jack's motor car.